What's going on, guys? It's Cody Sperber from CleverInvestor.com, and I'm driving into work right now, and I wanted to shoot a quick video to share an experience that we had that I think a lot of new investors can learn from. This is something I'm really frustrated that I made this mistake more than one time in my career, and I did it again, and it's a very good reminder to always listen to your inner voice. And I think the inner voice for a real estate investor is what sets apart new investors from experienced investors. It's that gut feeling you get when you should do a deal or pull the trigger on a deal or not do a deal. And I didn't listen to my inner voice, and it wasted a lot of time, and I wanted to share the story with you real fast, so maybe it'll help you out in the future before you make the same mistake. The story quickly goes like this. We bought a house at auction. The old owners were still in the property, and we let them know that they had to leave. We were going to evict them or help them move. And they asked us, well, what are you selling the house for? And we told them what we were selling it for. And the next day they contacted us and said, hey, we have a friend who's a real estate investor out of Georgia that might possibly be interested in buying the house and leaving us in the property. So we said, that's great. And about 20 minutes later, we had a contract come over. And we were all excited because we were going to make about 10 grand on the flip. And we said, this is great. It's a win-win-win for everybody. Well, come to find out that the terms in his contract weren't the same type of terms that we would normally put in our wholesaling agreements. We like quick closes, and even though he was trying to buy it for cash, he wanted a 30-day close, which didn't make any sense. Also, he didn't want to put down any earnest money. So I call the guy up and I talk to him and I say, hey, look, you got to change some of these terms. We have to use our title company. You have to close within 7 to 10 business days, and you have to put up $2,500 non-refundable earnest money. Well, it was like talking to a brick wall. It was like no matter what I said, he circled back around and just said his piece and went the direction he wanted to go. So I said, you got to abide by our terms. He said, no, I'm not doing the deal unless I do it by my terms. So we're like at a standoff in a weird way. But he kept verbally assuring me, don't worry, I want the deal. We're going to do this deal. I like the house as long as it has clear title, and as long as there's nothing wrong with the inspection of the property, I'm going to buy the house. I like the price. We're going to do the deal. I got off the phone with them, told my partner Dana how the conversation went. He said, absolutely not. We're not doing a deal with a guy who wants to, 30 days to close for cash and not put up any earnest money. That doesn't make any sense. Dana calls him. 10 minutes later, walks into my office and says, man, he did the same thing to me. Every time I told him what we wanted, he would just circle around our conversation and say, I want the deal. We're going to do it my way. If you want to do business, we got to do it my way. So this is where I didn't listen to my inner voice. We stretched for the deal because I wanted that 10 grand. And so we ended up signing the deal against my better judgment and Dana's better judgment. And we went into escrow on a contract for a 30-day close where we were going to make 10 grand with zero earnest money on the deal. Well, about 10 days later, our title officer let us know that the guy was non-responsive and she couldn't get a hold of him. So we called and we couldn't get a hold of him. And ends up, we finally blocked our phone number and called the guy, and he said, hey, look, the deal's kind of falling apart between me and the owner, the old owners, for the rent-to-own program. So I said, hey, look, whatever the deal between you two were, you guys, has nothing to do with me. You have a deal with me, and then you have a deal with them, and you have to perform per our contract. And he basically said, hey, look, if I don't have the deal with them, I'm not doing the deal. So, of course, we were pissed off because now we're in escrow with somebody who has the right to buy the property for 30 days, and we can't do anything. He unless he calls and or emails escrow and cancels the contract, and we call and cancel the contract, it just sits there for 30 days. So we were really frustrated that he wasn't performing, but he could still do whatever he wanted. We were locked into the deal for about another 20 more days. So we called the owner, and we find out that this guy was trying to rip the old owners off big time. He wanted $7,500 as the option deposit. He wanted them to pay a premium on their rents for $1,400 a month, where the monthly rent should only been like $1,200 at the max for this property. And he wanted them to close within 12 months for all cash for about $65,000 more than what he was buying the property from us for. So, I mean, these people just went through foreclosure. There's no way they're going to be able to do this deal. So he was just taking them for a ride. And so that's the story. We ended up having to ride it out. Now we're just sitting there waiting for the 30 days to expire. Then we're going to do a cure notice, and then eventually we'll end up being able to market the property and selling to somebody else. I mean, we're going to pre-market the property, but we can't actually open up escrow and close with anybody else until this guy's time limit expires. So that's my story. I wanted to share it with you. As real estate investors, when you develop that inner voice, listen to it. And never accept a contract without earnest money. You always want commitment from whatever buyer that is going to be buying any of your properties. And also, use your contracts. Don't let other people dictate the terms of the deal. Always get good at your paperwork and always use your own paperwork, because now you're in control of your deal. So, hope this tidbit helps. This is Cody Sperber from Clever Investor. Hopefully the next time that I do a video, it's about more of a positive topic. All right, see you next time.